What is up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What is up, you guys? Happy Sunday. It almost feels like a Saturday. 3-day weekends always do that to me, where it just makes me mix my days all the way up. But happy Sunday to you guys. I pray that you guys have had an amazing weekend. That you guys have, had a weekend filled with productivity, filled with rest, filled with, the love of God. And I pray that, this has been a weekend where you guys have also been able to look and see God do some things in your life. Hey, Kanima, how you doing? How you doing? I haven't seen you on in a minute, but I do know I forgot that you work at the school. I believe you still work do you still work at the school? I know you used to work at the school. And that was one of the things you were on my heart the other day. God was like, she be working when you go live now. She be working. So, our declaration is going to be, get it done. Like, that was what God was putting in my heart today. Like, get it done. Whatever that it is, get it done. I was telling TikTok the other day, it was yesterday, that, I'm doing pretty good. I was telling TikTok the other day that, if there's ever been a season where, many of us can say that, we've met the timing of God, that time is now. If there's ever been a season, hey, Natasha, if there's ever been a season for God to do what we've been waiting, for him to do, that time is now. If there's ever been a time for us to get into position, that time is now. I'm going to say it again. If there's ever been a time for us to get into position, that time is now. If it's ever been a season where God is moving, that time is now. Even on yesterday, I got a testimony of a young lady. I'm not going to share who it is or the full testimony, but there was something that she's been waiting on for years that finally happened on yesterday. And it happened in a way that she did not imagine, in a way that she did not think. And so, God was just, reminding me that, this is that season where he's literally about to make all things right. And I did that broadcast on yesterday. But today has really been one of those days where I've just been honestly tidying up my house, preparing for the week. And there was a moment, right, where I knew that, one of the things that God needed me to pick back up was t-shirts. He needed me to pick back up that t-shirt business and to begin to, work towards it. And so, it was a moment today where I was kind of dreading it. I don't know if y'all have ever gone through that feeling of knowing that you have to get something done, but you start to dread it because, you start to think, man, I really don't have the energy for it. Man, I would rather rest. Or you have other things that you would just literally like to do. And so, I was feeling like that, feeling like, God, it's a 3-day weekend. I can just put it off till tomorrow. I ain't got to do it. Anybody ever felt that way? I wanted to put it off. And then, sitting there thinking about it, the Holy Spirit reminded me of what God has been saying. If there's ever been a time for you to get into position, that time is now. If there's ever been a time for God to blow on things and bless things, prosper things, favor things, then that time is now. And so, needless to say, I went ahead and I began to work on the t-shirts. In fact, they are on the site for people to purchase. And I even have a deal up until Wednesday, a little Labor Day sale, not little, but a Labor Day sale, buy one, get one half off. And so for those of you guys that want to go to the site, that is thoughtsbyt.com, but that link is in the bio on here. And so I finally got a chance to just kind of sit down after I went ahead, and it was tedious, I'm not gonna lie. After I, went ahead and put the shirts on the side and did what I needed to do, put the discount code in, for people to automatically be able to get that discount when they purchase 2 shirts or whatever the case may be, 2 or more shirts. But as I was sitting out here, the Lord began to speak to me, and he began to say, tell my people not to let the enemy tempt them out of doing what they need to do. I'm going to say it again. He said, tell my people not to let the enemy tempt them out of doing what they need to do. Whether, God has put it on your heart to, work on your business, whether he's put it on your heart to organize your home, whether he's put it on your heart to look for a job, look for a vehicle, look for an apartment, whatever the case may be. What God is saying on today is don't let the enemy tempt you into not doing the very thing that you need to do. And a lot of times, it's so crazy how the enemy works, because in seasons where, and many of us can attest to this, in seasons where God has us sitting still, where it feels as though no progress is being made or our efforts aren't producing the results that we want to see. A lot of times in those moments where it's nothing that we can do, the enemy will tempt us to feel like, like we should be doing more. Anybody ever felt that way? I'm going to say it again. A lot of times, right? Kanima said she picked up another job too. My God, I'm going to just say this. A lot of times when we're in that season where God needs us to sit still and wait on his timing, have you guys ever noticed that a lot of times in those seasons, the devil will tempt you into beating yourself up? You will feel like there's more that you can do. You will even try to, do more than what God is calling you to do. And a lot of times, it leads to frustration. It leads to self-created storms. And honestly, it leads to, moments where we're willingly giving away the hope and the faith that we do have. Blessings to you, Sabrina. But then, there are other moments, like other seasons, when we know that God is moving, when we know that God is calling us to do X, Y, and Z, where the enemy will tempt us to remain stagnant. And I believe that in this season, many of us are in a season of movement. We're in a season where God is saying, I'm going to meet your effort. We're in that season where God is saying, listen, I know this area wasn't blessed before and you were doing all that you can do, but if you can just keep going, you're going to see, you're going to see me prosper this area. You're going to see me bring acceleration or advancement on this area. And we can be real in moments or seasons where God has us sitting still, where it feels like things are stagnant. It's like when the season does shift, we almost feel like, well, it wasn't working before. We almost want to get a little bit lazy about it because we feel like, God, I exerted all this energy in previous seasons and nothing happened. But I came here today to tell you not to let the enemy tempt you out of a place of movement. There are some of y'all that God has given specific instructions to concerning different areas of your lives. And these may be areas, right, where you have, attempted, you've pursued in the past and nothing happened. Or it was that stop and start cycle where you started it and then life hit and then you stopped it. God is saying in this season, do it again and get it done. I'm going to say that again. Do it again and get it done. There are things that God needs you to do, Sabrina, when it revolves around that hair thing. And it's not just the business, but it's even, furthering like your education, whether that looks like you taking a night class, whatever the case may be. There are certain steps that God in this season needs you to take. And here's the thing, without us showing God that we have faith, without us moving in a way that gives him something to work with, we won't see progress, right? And so a lot of times it's safe to say that the enemy oftentimes tempts us to do the exact opposite of what God needs us to do. There are some of y'all and God is saying this weekend for many people, it's the perfect opportunity for you to push out some of those projects, for you to do some of those things that may be a little bit tedious. This is the perfect weekend for you to do that. Because at the end of the day, most people are off on Labor Day. Not all, but most people are off. Excuse me, y'all. Most people are off this weekend. Most people are not doing anything this weekend. Let this be a 3-day weekend where you literally make it productive, where you do things that maybe you don't have you literally don't have the time or the energy to do during the week. Get it done. Can I just get somebody to type that in? Get it done. Whatever that it is, get it done. I'm telling y'all, I knew that God was saying pick the t-shirts back up. So Friday, or it was Friday, I went to the store and I got, the things that I needed to at least start, right? I got, the vinyl that he needed me to get, the specific color that he told me to get. I got the different color t-shirts that he told me to get. And I'm going to be real. It's like the more and more God was telling me what to do in that area, the more and more I was tempted to rebel. I'm just going to be real. I was even telling God, I don't know if this color scheme is going to match. I'm a little bit iffy on it. But needless to say, when I actually put that vinyl on that t-shirt, it looked amazing. I prayed that I'm making sense. It looked amazing. And then it's like, once I got the stuff right, my mind wanted to delay it. I just felt like, man, I'm just going to delay this thing, because I haven't done anything in this area all this time. It's like I started to feel as though I got time. Some of y'all be feeling like that. I got time to get it done later. But what if what if your miracle was one act of obedience away? I'm going to say that again. What if that breakthrough was one act of obedience away? It lets us know that a lot of times we really don't have the time that we be feeling that we have. And it's so crazy that, like, when we're in a season of God preparing us, when we're in that wilderness, a lot of times we'll think the opposite of time. We'll think that, man, this is going to go on forever. And then when it's time for us to act, our excuse becomes, well, I got time to do it tomorrow. I got time to do it this day. I got time to do it that way, that day. But the truth of the matter is, none of us know how close we are to a breakthrough in whatever that area is. None of us really know what a simple act of obedience will do. And so it's safe to say that the more the enemy fights you to sit still on areas where God is saying take action, it's safe to say you should be doing the exact opposite of what you feel. You may feel you want to put it off. You may feel that you want to rest. You may feel like you want to wait to the perfect opportunity. But in this season, God is saying, I'm meeting you where you are. So listen, so whatever you do, I'm going to double that. Come on. I'm going to double it when it revolves around the blessing that in that area. But here's the thing. If you do nothing, you get nothing. Come on, I'm going to say it again. If you do nothing, you get nothing. It's like the servants, it's like the parable in the Bible of the servants of the master that gave each of his servants talents, right? The men with the talents, right? And so the what was it, God? I'm not gonna say the owner, but the guy in charge gave every servant a talent, meaning he gave them money, was currency, according to their gifts, right? So he gave one man 1 talent, he gave the other 5, he gave the other 10, right? The ones with 5 and 10, they went out and did something with what the guy gave them, right? And by the time they came back, they had multiplied, right, what was originally given to him. But then you had that one guy with that 1 talent. He sat on it. He sat on it. He did nothing with what was given to him. And so what happened in that parable is that the master takes that 1 talent and he gives it off to one of the other guys, right, that had actually done something with it. And so God works the same way. There are things that God has put on the inside of you, even the strategies that God has given you. And God is simply saying, I can't make you do nothing with what I put on the inside of you. But if you refuse to move, I'll use somebody else. I'm going to say that again. God is saying, I can't make you do anything with what I've given you. I can't make you use what I've given you. But what I can do is give it to somebody else if you're not willing to do what needs to be done. And a lot of people will say, that what's for me is for me. And that's true. But here's the thing. If you don't answer the call of God, of what he's called you to do, he will give that assignment to somebody else. The show must go on. Absolutely. He will give that assignment to somebody else. And for those of y'all that say, well, Apostle, it's a million people doing what God is asking me to do. How many of y'all know that your gift makes room for you? So it don't matter how saturated your particular industry is, it doesn't matter how crowded that thing is that God is calling you to, your gift makes room for you. And the truth of the matter is, nobody can do it like you. Yeah, they may make t-shirts, but they can't do it like you. They may do hair, but they don't have your particular anointing. I pray that I'm making sense. Because there are some of y'all where you know exactly what you need to do. And if we can be real, some of y'all have put things off. You've put what God needs you to do off for what you feel is more important. I pray that I'm making sense. Yeah. Don't get left out of what God is doing in this season. Don't get left out. I'm going to say it again. Don't get left out of what God is doing in this season. Get it done. That was literally what pushed me into action. Because it's like, God, if I never start on this, I'll never get the blessing. And if I never, use these ideas that you have put on the inside of me, guess what? You're going to end up giving this to somebody else that'll actually do, what you were asking me to do. And it's a real thing. My aunt back in the day, like the 1950s and 60s, she started making wigs. She did hair. She used to make wigs, right? And she never did anything with those gifts. And look at what we see now. The industry has become a multi-billion-dollar industry. So it's safe to say that she could have been in on those blessings, but because she refused to answer the call, she refused to get it done, she refused to go after it. Come on, God used the person that would answer the call. He used the person that would answer the call. And this ain't just about business. This is for some of you guys that are believing God for apartments, believing God for vehicles, believing God for better paying jobs, believing God to bless other areas of your life. If you don't answer that call, please understand, God will give you a chance. He'll give you chance after chance after chance. But if you show him time and time again, come on, don't be Jonah. Yeah, she was ahead of her time. Absolutely, Sabrina. But the thing is, and it could have changed her life had she just stuck with it. But she didn't. She didn't. God will give you chance after chance. But if you keep showing him on a consistent basis that you are not going to answer the call, that you're going to make excuses, that you're going to procrastinate, that you're going to let fear hold you back, he is going to give that assignment to somebody else. I don't know who needs to hear that. So get it done. Get it done. And here's the thing about it. When you originally start on whatever it is that God, is calling you to do, it will not be perfect. I'm going to say it again. It's not going to be perfect. But you cannot despise humble beginnings. We all have to start somewhere. But what God will do is if he sees that you're giving your all into showing up. Hey, Miss Jennifer, you need to hear this. If God sees that you are giving your all to showing up, right, in whatever area it is, what you will see is that as you just keep showing up, God will continue to expand you. He'll continue to bless you. It's kind of like when I started Thoughts by T. I started off writing the messages down, reading off of a sheet of paper, right? And then once God saw that, okay, she's actually answering this call, he began to expand it. Okay, now you're going to go from writing it down and reading it off the paper during this video to writing it down and memorizing it. Once he saw me consistently showing up with that, God said, okay, now you're ready for the next step. And so we cannot despise humble beginnings. I pray that I'm making sense. Stop putting whatever it is off, whether it's cleaning up your house, whether it's reorganizing, whether it is renovating, whether, it is something with business, whatever it is, whether it's pursuing a job, pursuing living arrangements, pursuing a vehicle, get it done. And that's what that was what was so strongly in my spirit on today. This is not the hour for us to make excuses. This ain't the hour for us to let fear hold us back. But this is the hour, says God, for us to literally go for the gold. I need somebody to type that phrase in. Go for the gold. And by gold is go for the blessing. Go for the promise. Because in this hour, what God is saying is he's moving. I'm going to say it again. He's moving. But his movement requires our movement first. I'm going to say it again. Hey, Alyssa. His movement requires our movement first. There are some of y'all that have been praying prayers for a while now, and God is saying, listen, I'm just waiting on you to do what I asked you to do. And I don't know why I'm here to tell you this, Miss Jennifer, but don't slow up. Whatever it is that you've been doing in this season, don't slow up on that. Even though you may feel worn down, you may feel tired. I don't even know what it is. You may feel worn down. You may feel tired. You may have even been feeling like, God, I just need a break. Don't slow up. Yeah. And here's the thing, Natasha. Here's the thing. I've been there. But if you ask God for a strategy instead of going off how you feel things need to play off, he'll give you the strategy to start. I'm going to say that again. All he asks is that we use what we have. So even if finances are not a barrier for God, we look at finances as a barrier for us. And a lot of times, most people, the number one reason why they never pursue it is because of finances, not understanding that all God needs to see is effort on our part. And he'll bring what we need. He'll give us a strategy until we get to the point, right, where the financial aspect of whatever it is not an issue. I pray that I'm making sense. He'll give you a strategy. Even with the t-shirts, God gave me a strategy. Do it this way. He'll give you a strategy. But you have to be willing, and you have to also understand that God's strategy, it may go against how you thought that things were going to flow, because God never does it. His strategy is never a strategy that we ever would have picked. I'm going to say that we ain't ever thought of it because it ain't a strategy that many of us would have picked. So surrender in that area. Just start. Whatever it is, even if it looks like you starting off with one of those things and it takes you selling whatever it is that you sell to begin to, buy things in bulk, you do it that way. And that's it. And it's like for every excuse we make, God has a strategy. Y'all do know that, right? I'm going to say it again. For every excuse that we make, God has a strategy. But the thing is, a lot of times when it revolves around the things that God wants us to pursue, even outside of business, in every area of your life, it is more convenient to make an excuse than to apply faith. I'm going to say that again. A lot of times it's more convenient to make an excuse than to apply faith. Because every single thing God is calling us to requires faith. It requires for us to move even though we may not have all the pieces of the puzzle, but it requires for us to take the initiative in showing God that we trust him. I pray that I am making sense. Get it done. Whatever it is, get it done. I'm going to say it one more time. Get it done. I'm telling y'all, yesterday I got a testimony from a young lady that's been waiting years for living arrangements. Denial after denial after denial. So many denials. And yesterday, she got approved. The favor on that thing, she got approved. In fact, she moves in on Saturday when the apartment is done. But had she not pursued, had she just said, God, it's just more convenient just to not pursue it anymore, had she not used her faith, she wouldn't have saw God move. She wouldn't have. And so that's it, y'all. Get it done. That is the broadcast. To those of you guys that need to sow, Natasha, you need to release a seed into this word. The seed title is Get It Done. That is the seed title. That's the seed title. Get it done. Simple as that. The links are there for you guys to sow. For those of you guys that want to purchase a t-shirt, the shirts are Trust God t-shirts. Do you guys want to see them? I do have a sale on them. God told me to put them on sale. Buy one, get one half off. And so for those of you guys that actually want to purchase a shirt, the website is there. I'm going to show you guys the design for this shirt. They come in 3 different colors. And as time goes on, I'm going to add more color schemes and different things like that. And eventually, once the fall time hits, we'll be adding the crew neck sweaters and hoodies, because it's about to be hoodie season. But that's it. The shirts are there on the site, thoughtsbyt.com. That link is in the email. Not the email, the description of every single video. And so I'm actually going to go in and show you guys these shirts, and then I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. They are on sale starting today. They are on the website, sizes small through a 5XL in every color that I have. And so I'm actually going to go in here and show you guys. Hold on one second. Hold on one second, you guys. Enter into my office. Okay. All right. I don't have my stand set up. I actually do. Okay. So, okay. We should be good for lighting. Okay. Battery's not dead. All right. So I have actually 3 colors of these shirts. I just dropped one. So I have this shirt, the Trust God shirt, in camouflage in black. I have it in white as well. And I also have one in gray. And so it's just a way for you to remind yourself to trust God, or a way to remind yourself to really rep your faith. And so that is it, y'all. I love y'all. Again, if you know that this is a word that you need to sow into, thank you so much, Sabrina. I give God the glory. It was his idea to go with something that was a little bit more, it was different, a little bit more exclusive, not simple, not plain. And so those are the shirts. But yeah, that's it. The seed title was Get It Done. If you know that you need to sow, I shouldn't have to tell you that you need to sow. It should be something that is done because you feel the Holy Spirit tugging on your heart. And so that is it. I love y'all. I am rooting for you guys. And so thank you so much, Sabrina. It came out really nice. And to think I was fighting God, and when I was telling Lord, God, I'm like, Lord, I don't know if that's going to match on this color shirt. And as soon as I looked at it, I'm like, yeah, that matches really well, God. And so I have a few other styles that at some point, whenever God leads me to, probably within the next week or so, I'll be adding like some different patterns to the shirts. But right now, camouflage is my favorite pattern. And so we're going to start there with that. And within the next week or so, I may add the crew neck sweaters to it. I may add hoodies. I might not do hoodies. I'll just start with crew necks. I may do some long sleeve shirts. But that is it, y'all. I love y'all. I am rooting for you. And so until next time, y'all. Peace.